I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations. But I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Serenia. I could not have done it without you. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin working on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, I would ask that you would convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Mhigo. Alright. My thanks again. Together we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Mhigo and Ul'dah both. What? How was your audience with the Sultana? In your absence, I've kept myself busy cataloguing the riches of the Mad King's Grove and calculating its worth in gil. I have some ways to go, but the figure is already quite staggering. Greetings, Serenia. I'm actually in the middle of reporting to the commander, so, Good, I have a report for her as well. Serenia, you're back. What did Nanamo... Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? So, Rauban says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell her something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the Saltery does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help was another question. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But on a more practical note, at least assuming the interim government elects to accept Ul'dah's proposal, I have one caveat I would like you to include in the bargain. Mhigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Honestly, Aveno, it's like Kugana never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss this proposal with the Saltery residents. Wiskar, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Serenia? I might need you to fill in the details. And I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of a nation's finances may prove useful. What manner of mischief brings you young ones to Old Rat Vista, huh? We want to rebuild the Saltery, granted. Serenia, tell him about the deal. Well, bugger me. Never thought that the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to call the buggers, but the Imperials went about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Granddad, we'll take care of that. Commander Hex has been talking about starting up regular patrols. I'm sure she'd assign me to the Loch if I asked. I'd appreciate that, Wiskar, my lad. Truly I would. So does this mean you've gotten better with that blade of yours? I've been training, aye, but mostly to kill Imperials. You have some experience in monster hunting, don't you, Serenia? Think you could cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the Lochs. Whilst you're busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltery to its former glory. Good hunting! Right then, I got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've gotten the measure, you can tell me what to do and we'll see how well I get on. So are we looking for this fee? Jerry's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Looks like you found a Yabby. They say hitting a shell is like smacking a rock. Any suggestion? Aim for the soft underside of the head. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Right then. Wish me luck. Did it? Thanks, Serena. I just did just as you told me, and the wave king went down like a sack of potatoes. Let's find something else. I think I can handle the yabbies now, so we should try something different. What else is out there? Thoughtbad's hands are large and powerful. Destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. Thoughtbad. How do I feed one of those? Destroy the core within its brow. Inside its head, is it? I try to stab it right between the eyes then. Not easy fighting with the liberator of Mhigo watching her every move. But I got the job done. Thanks for the advice. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Anyway, we should head back to the Saltery before Granta starts worrying I've been snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's hatchlings. The merchant of Ulda, a well-constructed contract is both sword and shield. What must understand this if we were to meet them on an even field? Speaking of battles, does Wiskar seem equal to the task of thinning the Lochs monster population? He certainly seemed eager enough. I see you've returned in one piece. That was those beasties then, did you? I fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from Serenia here, like. Once I shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad. A fine young man you've become, Wiskar. A fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folk over in the city, drunk on victory and hungry for revenge. their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the Saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. It seems Wiskar has the Saltery security well in hand. I meanwhile have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Message from General Alden. Apologies for the interruption, miss, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here to hammer out the finer details with Watt, and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ulda. You should go. General Alden asked that you wait for him by the main gate in the Alamigan quarter. My apologies again, miss. Farewell.
Apologies for the wait.
No problem.
People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal.
Yes?
Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the Resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
Hard to say. Laurentius committed betrayal before, and if you do not execute them, what do we do with them then? I mean, executing would not achieve anything, but we would be rid of a problem. But it's not really the answer.
You would spare these animals? Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me. I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamigan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Mhigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Uldar and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father,
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled. Ironwood, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean Bavera. These are Kelana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They insist he might be allowed to attend the council. He's just trying to reason with them, but you may need help. An invitation was extended to all the native beast tribes, but we assume the Kelana would refuse it out of hand. We best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our force and be ready for battle. Svenja, you've dealt with this Kelana before. I'd have you at my side. Svenja, Rauban, God, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss. But we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Giabania home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of Yananta. It is our wish and you are welcome. But we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask you to first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word, it will all be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. And we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. I do have a feeling we've welcomed a Viper to our midst. Well, I don't know about Viper, but it's definitely a snake. Detachable arm optional. The Kelana Elder's intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Serenia? Infalt cannot be trusted. It is said that once a creature has fallen under the sway of a primal, there is no salvation. I strongly doubt the Kelana have suddenly broken free of Lakshmi's will. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the science? I'll round up our comrades and send them to the Alagmegan quarter. You can go on ahead if you like, Serenia. My thanks. I will see you in the palace. Serenia, I brought reinforcements. Anval told me of the arrival of our unexpected guest, and I agreed that it would be prudent to call upon Y'shtola and Thancred as well. One can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. I'm not familiar with the Kalana tribe myself, but Alize's reports suggest they shun contact with other races. Despised it, in fact, even compared to other Ananta. Indeed. This apparent reversal in attitude is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy. I imagine Lys was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? If a meeting is to be held in the throne room, it would seem wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Y'shtola and I can stand guard without. That leaves the three of you to keep watch over proceedings in the throne room itself. Understood. We should join General Alden inside then. Serenia, do you know of a rare entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city at the top of the stairs. The guards there should have been instructed to let us pass. You have a signs, miss? General Alban left orders that you were to be escorted inside. If you would follow me.
Thank you all for coming. I am Lys Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern. You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Mhigo. But before that, I want to ask you a question. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in? For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place? Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
Smooth, Lisa. Very smooth.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game, and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ragenfrid. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kaliana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
The Ananta. Wish only that those who dwell within Gir Abania devote themselves to our faith. You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of Bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
This can't be happening. No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
It's up to us.
God damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
No, you don't!
The Kaliana would see us all enthralled.
Then they're going to be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvald to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they? We're stuck on the back foot.
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Whatever she's about, she'd best make it quick. Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. No, damn it. If I think like that, we are already lost. I have a Warrior of Light of my side. We can do this. Isn't that right? Use the duty action deflect to dissipate the ether spheres Lakshmi releases during battle. We warn that allowing an ally to be enthralled by an ether sphere will result in failure. Doing a fine job blocking our retreat. We must break through. Forget the primal with our foes ahead.
Why, I offer you peace and serenity.
Come on! Failed. Now, this is an awkward place to end the episode, but it's the only one I truly have. Yeah, we try this next time again, and until then, I'm Ace, and don't get lost.